Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and this is going to be on a firearm that I actually picked up a couple months ago, and I just realized that I had not done an overview video on this or even showed it, so I figured I'd go ahead and throw this up there, and in case anybody is either still looking for this particular firearm or is interested in finding out a little bit more. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not a big firearms reviewer, so basically the information that I'm going to be giving you is either something that I pulled off the actual manufacturer's website, which in this case is going to be Smith & Wesson, or just my personal opinion on the actual firearm, philosophy and stuff like that, as far as why I picked it up, why I carry it, and whatnot. So just take that as you may. All right, the actual firearm is the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield model. Now, this is obviously a firearm that, at the time when I picked it up, a lot of people were looking for, just because it was the newer, hotter thing out on the market. It's a very easy gun to conceal, and that's pretty much the reason I picked it up. I wanted something in a 9mm that was easy to conceal, very thin, very lightweight, and I didn't have to worry too much about. So this is what I got. So this is the box that it comes with. Let me go ahead and open it up so you guys can see what all it comes with. In the box, you get the shell that they fire, at the manufacturer, just to make sure that everything's fine with it. You get a lock, and then you get the orange cone to put into the barrel whenever you're not using the gun, just so you can see it's not loaded. You get a second mag. This is a 7-round magazine, sits flush in the firearm. And then obviously you get your manuals and everything underneath there, warranty information, and then underneath all this packaging is the actual firearm. So I'll go ahead and take this out and let's talk about it. And I'll set this off to the side. I'll go ahead and eject this mag just so you can see there's nothing in it. And safety check. There's nothing in the gun itself. Safe direction, and we're good to go. Alright, so obviously if you guys haven't been able to get your hands on one of these, this is a very, very slim form factor for a firearm. This definitely was designed for easy concealability, especially if you're carrying like maybe inside the waist or something like that. This is basically going to disappear depending on how you carry, but it's a really, really comfortable gun to carry. So a couple of specs from the manufacturer on the actual firearm. The barrel length is 3.1 inches. The overall length of the firearm is 6.1 inches, so very, very thin, very small. The frame width is 0.95, and that would probably be right around this area right here, so less than an inch wide. So definitely that's where a lot of the reduction in weight and size comes with. You get a very, very thin frame for this particular firearm. The weight on the firearm is 19 ounces. Now, again, getting the information from the site, it didn't really specify if it was with a loaded magazine, without a loaded magazine. So I'm going to go with the fact that it's without a loaded magazine, because especially since you get two different size mags, you get a 7-round and an 8-round. So let's go with 19 ounces unloaded. And again, if anybody is familiar with that, feel free to chime in at the bottom in the comments. Trigger pull is 6.5 pounds, so obviously it's a little bit heavier than some of the other firearms. But again, because it is a concealed carry firearm, in most cases you would want something a little bit heavier. Now, with any firearm that you do pick up, I always recommend for you to practice, especially with the trigger, just so you can get familiar with it, especially with this particular firearm as well, since you do get two different size mags. Now, the 8-round mag sticks out a little bit from the frame, but you do get this kind of extender right here, so you get a full purchase on the actual firearm, or at least I do, depending on your size of your hands, but I'm going to go with the majority of people would. So it's very, very comfortable to shoot with this particular magazine in there. Now, with the other one, since it is a 7-round magazine and it sits more flush, you kind of lose that little bit of length that the other magazine gives you. So depending on your hand, your pinky might be kind of floating out here. So always practice. Now, obviously, in my personal carry choice, I would use this as a secondary mag. If I had to, shoot through this one and then have to go into this one, because it's obviously not as comfortable to shoot. But again, I practice with it just to make sure that I know what it feels like to shoot with this particular mag in there, so I'm not, so it's not a new concept to me. Now, this one does come with a safety. Safety is very nice. It's very easy to actuate, and it is a little bit you get a little bit more retention when you go to take it off. So again, if you're not used to carrying with a safety, I would definitely, if you are going to be carrying this particular firearm with the safety on, I would definitely recommend that you practice with that, especially maybe drawing and taking the safety off, just so you can create that muscle memory. Now the safety is only on one side, so if you're left-handed, just keep that in mind. And actually, all the everything that comes on the firearm itself it's only on the one side, so that's something to note. The slide does have these scalloping in the back right here, so it grips really nice if you're going to be actuating the slide in the kind of slingshot method like that. You get a positive feel, and it won't slide out of there. Your fingers won't slide, especially if maybe they're a little greasy or something like that. The one thing that I did want to note, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to post this video, is because recently Smith & Wesson released a recall or a safety check on these particular firearms, and it has to do with, let me see if I can go ahead and zoom in on this. It has to do with this little piece right here that sticks out from behind the trigger. If that piece was not working properly and you were to drop your firearm, there might be a chance that the firearm might go off when it hits the floor. So I went ahead and checked this particular firearm, and it's fine. They show you how to check it in the Smith & Wesson website. But if you are interested in purchasing one of these, I would definitely always recommend double checking to make sure that that doesn't happen. So do a little bit of homework as far as how to check that before you go to the store and pick it up. Even though the people at the store should have already checked all their firearms, it's always good to double check. The other cool thing that this particular firearm has is in the top right here, in the back of the barrel, in the slide, it actually has a loaded chamber indicator. So if there were to be a round in the chamber, you can actually see it through this little hole right there. So that's always really cool, because you can always just pick up the firearm, do a visual inspection, and know if there's one in the chamber or not. Especially if you're going to be carrying this maybe without the safety on, you always want to make sure that you know what's going on with your firearm. Takedown on the firearm is very easy. Basically, you just slide the slide back. This lever right here, the takedown lever, you just rotate it, and then release the slide, pull the trigger, and the slide comes right off. Basically, very reminiscent of, let's say, like your Glocks and stuff like that. You have your buffer spring right here. The recoil spring, and then your barrel. So you just take that out, take the barrel, clean it off, and you're good to go. Reassembly is pretty easy. Just put the slide back in, lock the slide to the back, flick that lever, you're good to go. Safe direction, and it's put back together. Now, as always, I like to roll some sort of other firearm so you guys can see the comparison in size. And what I have for you today is my Glock 23. Now, the reason that I chose this particular gun is because a lot of people either have a 23 or a 19. Those are pretty much one of the most popular firearms out there, especially the Glock 19. So, you've either seen it, you've held it, you have one, so you know the size of it, so you can relate the size on this gun to the Shield. I'll go ahead and check this one, make sure that everything's fine, safe direction, and we're good to go. Alright, so let me kind of give you a side-by-side comparison on these two. Obviously, as you can see how much shorter the Shield is. Obviously, more of the Glock 26, 27 size on the Shield. But again, all I had was the 23, so there you go. Here we go, so you can see the width of the actual frame. Obviously, the 23 is a double stack mag. The Shield is a single stack mag, so that's where you're going to get a lot of the reduction in the width itself. And then here we go, so I can put a little bit better view there. Okay, and then one last one, so you can see the height difference. So you can see right there, you do get probably about a half to 3/4 of an inch reduction in the height between the two. So definitely a very easy gun to conceal, very easy gun to carry, which is part of the reason why a lot of people really like this. Now, it does come in 9mm and in 40, so depending on what your preference is, they have those two options for you. Obviously, I wanted to carry something a little bit lighter, so I went with the 9, especially since I already have the 23 and a 40, and that's why I chose that one. So Again, that's kind of like my overview, a little bit of my opinion on the Shield. Great firearm. It feels really nice. You know, the texturing on the grip and everything is very nice. The magazine release is very easy to get to, but it's not in the way to where you can accommodate different, you know, types of holds or grips or anything like that on there. I think they definitely put a lot of thought into the ergonomics of the gun to make it a gun to, you know, that people are gonna definitely want to go to and carry, not just because of the size and whatnot, but because obviously the reputation behind the Smith & Wesson M&P line. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you.